Hello from Stockholm, everybody. I was awoken way too early this morning in my extremely expensive hotel bed by the trash collectors right next to my window. And when I say extremely expensive, if you haven't seen the video yet, watch last week's vlog where I show you around the room, or if you can call it a room, more like a closet with a very decorative bed, and tell you how much it actually cost. I had a relaxing and very nice breakfast at the hotel. They had vegetarian bratwurst with jalapeno cheese filling. Not what I would typically have for breakfast, but very tasty. Then I walked around the city, did some window shopping, and jumped in bus 76, which left right in front of my hotel, bonus, and took me over here to the ferry port. If you are not up to date, I am boarding the Silja Serenade ferry today. Looks like a cruise ship, sounds like a cruise ship, but it's not a cruise ship. It's a ferry, and there's a lot of subtle differences that make it a ferry and not a cruise ship, and I'll be talking about that maybe more in this video and in other videos from this journey. By the way, I'm Morgan from the Very Unofficial Travel Guides. I've been making travel videos for over 15 years of popular and not so popular tourist destinations to give you a very honest, unofficial look at what it's like to be there. And I've also written 2 books full of true travel stories of weird things that have happened to me around the world. They're called Getting Stitches on a Cruise Ship and Places Please. If you like to read, enjoy this video, and want to give me a little bit of extra support, please check them out on Amazon now. I have to tell you, I'm getting a little bit worried because it's really windy today in Stockholm, and I'm wondering what it's going to feel like on the ship. Stay tuned. All right, getting to the ferry terminal was easy with bus 76, and there's actually an underground station very close by as well. If you do take bus 76 from the city like I did, don't get confused by the 2 different ferry terminals. Make sure you go to the one that is for the ferry that you are going to be ferrying on. How do you say it? It's not a cruise ship. Do you still say cruising on a ferry? What do you think? So just like when I did the Color Line ferry from Kiel to Oslo and back, I was surprised that you don't even talk to an actual person to check in for the cruise and get your card that will get you onto the ship and into your cabin. You just use these automatic terminals and it spits it out right there, and that's all you need to do. The terminal here in Stockholm is way more spacious and modern and light and airy than the terminal for the Color Line ferry was in Kiel, and I think there's a lot less going on here too. I don't think there's a lot of people boarding the ferry today. I think if there's a lot of people on board, then they all were boarded in Helsinki. Remember, one of the things that makes a ferry different than a cruise ship is it's basically a form of transportation. People use it to get from A to B and not really to like be on vacation. And one great thing about the fact that it's transportation is you can bring your own food and drinks on board. Technically, you don't have to go to any of the restaurants on board. You can just pack your own food to eat for the journey. And I may have a sandwich and a bottle of wine in my bag. Anyways, you've heard me talk about it long enough now. Let's go get on the ship. There we go. And nobody even checked to see if I'm me. But if I'm not me, who would I be? And it is not a short walk to the ship, just so you know. This is a tradition I have now. You do this too. I am not on the ship. I'm not on the ship. I'm on the ship. It's different to come into like this hallway instead of the Royal Promenade or the Promenade, not the Royal Promenade. Get that into your head. It's more like just a hallway area of the ship. Okay, I just got out of the elevator right here on deck 8. It's confusing because the floor is 8, but it's elevator number 11, I guess. There's a nice little sunny seating area here, and my cabin is literally right here. Okay, well, there it is. Okay, this is fine. This is totally fine. I'm not complaining about it. It's just when you're used to being on cruise ships, the moment when you see a ferry cabin, even though I knew exactly what it was going to look like, but yeah, I don't know. The moment you see it, you just like remember, oh yeah, ferry, not a cruise ship. Let me take off my jacket and then let's take a full look around this cabin. Okay, this is the view again with the normal lens on my phone, and this is wide angle. I like to do it this way because it's just easier to show a little bit more, but I feel like it does kind of distort and make it look bigger than it actually is. There's the view in the other direction, and I mean, it's really pretty basic, but it's totally adequate for 1 night or 2 nights. You're not gonna be on this ship longer than that. I like that there's a little seating area over here. I'm gonna be able to put my laptop there and get some work done. It'll just be a little bit more comfortable. And there are 2 continental European plugs here, and yeah, some old school data ports here. I just reserved for 1 person, so they just set up 1 bed, and underneath that little table, I can see there are also 2 other plugs. Okay, little update here, everybody. I'm checking out on the last day, and I have to tell you, this bed was so uncomfortable. It's sunken in the middle, and I don't think it's even really a mattress. I think it's actually just like a foam pad, and my back hurts, and I'm looking forward to sleeping in a real bed tonight that's wider than a meter. The bathroom door is Morgan approved. It is well, wait a second. It's a real door. It's not see-through. It closes all the way. However, there's quite a gap under here to let out sound and smells. So I guess I'll give this like 80% approved. It's a really cozy bathroom, but you know, same thing on cruise ships. There's a shower curtain here. Oh, that shower is very tiny. Just like in the teeny tiny hotel room I was in Sweden, I see the entire floor of the bathroom getting wet here in the near future, or as soon as I take a shower. How do we feel about this salmon color, like 2-tone salmon color scheme here? What's the line from Steel Magnolias again? My colors are blush and bashful. No, they're not, Shelby. They're pink and pink. That is one of my favorite movies. The original with Dolly Parton and Julia Roberts. There is some soap provided here in the shower. This says York on it, but I know York is the brand of this dispenser here. No idea what's actually inside there. And 4 disposable plastic cups. Oh my gosh. I'm moving up in the world. As I mentioned, you can bring your own food and beverages on board, and there's a nice little bottle opener here. And I guess really the only other thing to show you is the Promenade View. And there is the promenade. So you can obviously see this looks so much like the Royal Caribbean ships that came after this. If I understand it correctly, these 2 ships were built before Royal Caribbean sort of took over this idea. And by the way, there's a Very light right here. I wonder if I'm gonna have a disco feeling in my cabin here tonight. This is my first time staying in a Promenade View cabin on any ship, and I picked it specifically because of that reason, and also just because I wanted to see what it was like. Shortly before the cruise, I got offered a very inexpensive offer to upgrade to a sea view room, and I decided to stay in this cabin anyways, just like I said, because I really wanted to see what it was like. What do you think? Sail away is in about a half an hour, and I really want to be somewhere where I can see outside, because I know from 2 cruises I did to nowhere during COVID that stopped here in Stockholm, where I was on the ship for I think 5 and 7 days and was not allowed to leave the ship even though we stopped in Stockholm. I know from those journeys that the scenery when you leave Stockholm is so picturesque, and I definitely want to be out there and see some of it and show it to you as well. And if you want to see more of the ship, then of course make sure you're subscribed and check back here soon. I'm Morgan from the Very Unofficial Travel Guide. Bye-bye.